Ready to kick doors as a marshal?
Probably be quiet, just paperwork and new guy nonsense.
Well, it's nice to meet you,
Yeah, good to meet you, bud.
and I appreciate you taking the time to do this. My name's Ryan. I'm with military.com. And so I've got a couple questions that are going to be kind of military focused. I hope that's all right.
Yeah.
But so just to start things off, maybe you could talk about like your character is a former Navy SEAL. And I was curious, what kind of responsibility did you feel stepping into a role like that and portraying someone with that kind of real world experience?
Well, there's a level of pressure trying to represent something like that you don't feel just playing any character. Uh, to my character Garrett, former Navy SEAL, teammate of Kayce's, and has got what I would call extreme PTSD. I mean, he's certainly bothered by a lot of things that he saw, and that's something I know nothing about. Beyond just relationships and friends that I've got that have served and some of their stories. And I think we were beyond fortunate that there were Navy SEALs on set that we could kind of lean into if we had questions and that shared stories with us. And I felt that was extremely helpful for me because, although we've seen those type of characters in movies, what somebody's been through in real life it's a tough thing. But again, it's just you want to do that justice any way you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know our readers and me as a veteran, I personally take that really serious, and I appreciate you taking that serious. So I was just curious, like you said, you worked with some Navy SEALs on set, and I guess some probably military experts. What kind of prep did you do with them to prepare for this role?
Well, there was, I mean, certainly things like how to enter a room and clear a room and how to, when you're walking and you're in that type of situation. There was a scene, where we're firing guns and we're in that uh, Navy SEAL situation in combat. And I've hunted my whole life. I've been around guns my whole life. I'm what I would say more familiar than a lot of people. And there was a scene where we needed to be changing a magazine out, and I would take time in between filming to go work with the SEALs because how they said it was you need to be able to do it without thinking about it. You need to be able to do it without looking at it. That's how it looks. And that was something that, although I've always been able to work and I'm familiar with it, to be able to do it and not even be looking at the gun, there's a certain level of it's just that's not natural. So going and working with them, and I mean, we might have a 30-minute break, and I'd be over there just constantly changing the clip out and putting it back in. And those are things that you don't think about going into something like this, that you really, if you can do it and take the time, that's what's going to make it seem real to somebody who actually has been in that situation. And that's what people are going to look for. And uh, those were although I was 4 episodes is what I was in, those are the things that I was really mindful of and something that I tried to get right. And probably the biggest challenge of all of it was that, as far as conveying emotion of being through something that was a war type situation and carrying yourself in a way that seems like it would be Navy SEAL like. That's not something that everybody can do.
You're a great musician. You've been doing that for years. This is your first on-screen appearance, correct, as an actor?
Yes, sir.
What was that feeling like jumping on a project as big as Marshall, a spinoff to one of the biggest shows in recent television history?
Well, the best way to describe it is when I go to a show, everybody's there to see me. Like I'm the guy. Everybody's bought a ticket to see me. Everybody backstage works for me. My picture's on the front. I'm on the kiosk. And when you show up at a set, and not only am I not the guy, I'm like the new guy. I mean, everybody's there with a common goal, but there's a pressure of, man, I've got to do my job right, or we're all going to be here all day. Everybody's waiting on me. Everybody's relying on me. And that pressure and the challenge was something I really enjoyed. It was kind of refreshing because there's not a lot of nerves about going to play country music anymore. I've done it for so long. But I enjoyed that, and it was a challenge and something that you've got to kind of find a way to build your confidence up and every day was something different.
This might be a silly question, but did you notice any like crossover like skills from being a musician that you could apply to being an actor?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a level of performance, when you're on stage. I give the example that, when I'm playing a sad, really heartfelt song, maybe that's not where I'm at mentally at that time, or maybe I am down and I'm playing a happy song, or a tempo song, and you've got to find a way to get in that mindset quickly in between songs during a show. And, I did construction work for 20 years, and I could get through a day at work when I didn't feel like it. I could drag through the day and but you can't do that on stage when you're performing. You've got to be the happiest person in the room to be there. And, so that the level of performance definitely helps, but the difference is I'm always playing myself on stage. And
Mm,
when you go into a character like Garrett, there's so many things that I've never lived through that I have to try to portray, and that was the tough part about it.
mm. So you brought it up already, your character Garrett, he's dealing with PTSD, but it seems like from the little snippet I've seen of your character, you do bring in music, like music plays a part of his character. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I thought that was great that they wrote my character as a musician. He plays guitar. He kind of always has. Maybe back when they were in the teams together, he kept his guitar with him and they'd sit around the barracks and play whatever it was. And uh, it was obviously a great thing for me because it throws a little bit of a tie in with my music into the show. But also, it was just enough to where it didn't seem like I was just some country music singer they brought onto the show. I didn't want to seem like it was Riley Green on this show. I wanted to, to get to be the character Garrett, and that was just a little splash of the music enough to give a little tip of the cap to it. But I think it was a great little just dynamic to this character.
So did this being on the show, did it give you the bug? Or you wanting to do more projects, you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think I was excited about potentially doing some acting, and for this to be the first thing that I do. I think I'm extremely blessed that that was the case, and I love working with Luke. Uh, Made it so much easier having a friend out there that I was working with, especially somebody as talented as him. And yeah, I'm kind of shopping around, reading for different things, and that's definitely something I'd like to explore and try to do more of.
Is there anything that you want my audience to know about your time on the show, or you hope they take away from your episodes?
Well, again, just to I think I speak for all the cast that we're all, extremely appreciative of everybody who served in the military, and the things that they go through that we probably will never in our lifetime be able to comprehend. But when you go and you get to act on a show like this, it forces you to try to go there mentally, which again, we're just using our imaginations to do it, but it gives you an appreciation that's beyond what we already had, I think. And I can't say enough about how beneficial it was to have those SEALs on set, and use some real life experiences to try to tap into that.
So you already had a prior relationship with Luke Grimes, right? You guys have worked together before.
Yeah, we became pretty good friends in Nashville. He was kind of starting his music career, and we'd ride a little bit together. And again, casual conversations of he's like, man, you should try some acting, or maybe I've had some interest in it, and that's what led to this role.
Mm. So what was that like having a friend? You mentioned it lightly about having a friend on set. Like, what was that dynamic like, the
Oh,
two
it
of
made it
you?
so much easier. I mean, you go into something that's as uncomfortable as acting for the first time on a big show with a set, and it's a little intimidating. And having Luke there made it that much easier for me and made me feel that much more comfortable. And I can't say enough about, obviously he's extremely talented, but he came out and read with me when I read for the part. There's not a lot of people that are
Mm.
the star of a show like that go and read with somebody that's coming in for a handful of episodes, but he was great to have along the way.
I know you can't give too much away, and you said you've been on 4 episodes, but can you maybe tease? Should we expect to see you in season two if Marshall gets picked up?
Well, it's possible that I could be back on the show, and certainly not something I'm against. I had a great experience with it, and it's I think that my character is, you know, although he kind of comes out of nowhere in a sense, I think he'll be somebody that people that'll come up not only in just conversation on the show for a long time. There's something really cool about how he becomes a part of this group.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I am thoroughly excited to see the rest of the season, and I really enjoyed the episode I got to see with you in it. So thank you for doing this, and from military.com, I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate your
Yeah,
service too. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much.